All the self-styled psychics in the world come out of the woodwork. I actually am deputized in that county just north of there, and I'm a forensic parapsychologist. I really work the same as a detective, but I plug in intuition with each of my findings, too. So the police just had not... Actually, I got a call from a captain afterwards who apologized for not doing so and said he had worked with me when he was a young detective, and he didn't recognize the fact it was me that they were going to... that would come forth.
Okay, well, now we've asked Linda and Larry, and really Linda and Larry asked us if they could come on the show to see if we can help them with the problem. Linda, why don't you tell us what happened with your daughter?
Well, one of the reasons we're here is because we don't know what happened. She came to our house one evening and stayed with us for about 45 minutes and brought Jeremy, who was 4.5 months old, and then she was living with some neighbors, not very far away, where she was staying as like a paid nanny because the other girl had a broken arm. And she left to go eat dinner with them. And then while she was at their house, she said, well, she was going to go meet her, a friend of hers, and that she would be home by dawn. And then she never came home. And 48 hours later, we found her car. And that's it. That's all we know. We've never found out any more information.
Now, this has been kind of a, I don't want to go through every single piece of this, but your daughter also inherited some money.
Yes,
is that correct? $45,000.
That's right.
Approximately $45,000.
Right.
That's about right.
Yes.
And the person that she was going to go meet, she went and did a withdrawal right before this?
That day, she took out $15,000 in $100 bills. She told the people she was living with that she was investing in a business with this friend, and who she said was a neighbor of ours, and that he wanted her to go into this as a business investment. And then when she got back to their house that night, after she'd been with, after she'd taken the money out, she said, I've given him the money, he has the money now. And of course, nobody's ever seen the money or, admitted to having it since then.
Okay, now after her disappearance, she was missing for a while, the police turned this around, Larry, and tried to come after you, is that correct?
Well, we had, I don't know any man that wouldn't be proud when people would say, that baby sure does look just like you. And I had a police detective here that thought I was too aggressive as, pursuing it, and turned into something of a personal problem, I think. And he felt that I protested too much, or that they weren't doing their job. I had a problem with... My problem with the investigation was the lack of investigation. When they first came out to make a report, they failed to make a report. The scene of the accident, the scene of the crime, excuse me, cash and carry, a month later they hadn't talked to all the people there, and so they couldn't have gathered. So we fussed about this, and he said, I think you did this.
So they turned it around and said they thought you did it, and they tried to investigate you, but that went nowhere also, is that correct?
Right. They used that the baby looked like him. Its grandfather is trying to say that he might have been the father of the child.
So meaning you must have molested your own daughter and fathered a child.
That's what they took our, at the time, 15-year-old daughter out of school without just 2 detectives with her. No, if they speak to your child at school, legally they must have a representative from the school present also. They took her out of class without that representative, just 2 detectives, and they talked to her for like over a half an hour saying, has your father molested your sister? Is this child actually his child? And they took our 11-year-old daughter out of school and did the same thing.
But there was no provocation. I mean, they had no reason to do this.
The point of this, I want to state that this was after they had asked me to take a polygraph test, to clear me, because they want to clear. They say, we want to get by you and get on with the investigation. And so if you take a polygraph test, well, they didn't ask me any questions like this, during the thing, but they go to your daughters, and has your daddy had incest with you? Has your daddy raped your sister and killed?
But all this ended up being not proven. I could see, I mean, it has put a strain on you, it put a strain on your marriage and your family.
Put a strain on my mind.
On your mind. But the bottom line here is that your daughter is still missing.
Definitely.
And no one knows where she is.
They haven't found a single thing since she disappeared.
So you wanted us to see if maybe Kay could help you with this.
Well, we welcome any help. We can't help being skeptical. We put our faith in God, and we want the truth, and that's all we are asking. But we welcome any information from anyone, and we put our faith in the police, and you know, they've just failed to find anything. And so we had an opportunity to come here, and we're hoping for anything. We're hoping to find our daughter and Jeremy.
Okay. Now, Kathleen, I am calling you Kay, but I know
That's right.
you prefer to be called Kate. You work on cases like this. How do you do it? You get some information from the people first?
Normally, the detective will will come and fill out sheets saying when they were last seen, what they look like, who they live with, because I'm like the detectives, I like to clear the family too. And so I always check to be sure I don't have to look for them to be involved with this. So, and then I take it step by step. It is not anything that is not God-given, by the way. It is not a religion, and it's not a superstition. It's something that you use just like you use your other 5 senses. You can train it the same as you can your eyes. Your eyes have to learn to identify what they see. Your intuition has to learn to identify what they feel. And so it can be trained. And therefore, I teach law enforcement classes, teach detectives to educate their gut feelings.
Okay, now, you have had an opportunity to look at some information.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you
now,
could probably...
normally I would spend 2 or 3 hours on this, but
Sure.
I'm going to give you some quick facts, okay?
Okay, but now, you also said that you don't like to let certain information out on television.
Unless the family's able to accept that, or the family's reached their conclusion there, and it's not a shock to them.
Okay.
I don't like to shock anybody.
I'll tell you what, we got to take a little break, because I got to not shock the people who pay the bills around here. When we pay some bills, we'll come back,
Okay.
and then I want you to tell us what you've determined about
All
the
right.
missing daughter.
Fine.
We'll be back right after this. About psychics, and a little later on in the show we're going to get into some information about some of your favorite celebrities and what's going to happen to them. But first, we're really here with Kathleen Rhee, and she has been, I guess, what's the title again? You are a
forensic parapsychologist.
A forensic parapsychologist who has worked on cases and helped police solve cases on missing people. And just to clear this up for everybody, it is your daughter and her child who have been missing now for
That's
8
correct.
months. So people got a little confused, so we're keeping people up with that. But you got some information. Why don't you tell us what you had to go through to come up with the decision that you have made about what's happened?
Well, in this length of time, I can only give you a few things. I'd like to give you more hours on this, but I always look to see why the crime was committed. I feel this is a person that's very selfish, self-centered. This person only thinks about what he wants for himself. I feel the end results, I'm sorry, are very serious.
And what is the decision that you've come up with?
I don't feel that daughter and the baby are alive.
Okay, you think
And I feel that they are out on the edge of a mangrove, and I didn't even know what those were, but I could hear the word as I was thinking about where she was.
what is a mangrove? Do you know?
It's a swamp-like, I understand, a swamp-like place.
Okay.
And I feel it could be somewhere like about maybe 6 miles from home, from your town. And when I say that, I want to look then to see which direction I want to go in. I feel like if your town is here, I'm going this way. So would that be northeast from your town?
Yes.
I want to go up this way. I feel that I don't feel that he buried her. I feel that there's leaves, there's debris and such out there, but I don't feel like he buried her. I feel, and I don't feel that she and the baby are in the same place. I feel he was very angry with her, or disdainful. I feel like it was sort of like, hey, stupid, so you gave us the money, but there's not going to be any meaning. There's really nothing here that I'm going to invest this in. And what are you going to do about it? And I feel your daughter got very angry that she was being taken advantage of. In fact, I feel like she fought a bit. It's a wonder they didn't find a few scratches on this guy. Because I feel that she, for one thing, reached for his hair. I feel like he may have just a few speckles of a few grays, just that you'd have to look for them maybe in his hair. I feel that this guy does not work very much. Or I feel like if he does, it's all muscular type of work. It's not intellectual type of work. I feel that she would know his name, so he is somebody she knows. I feel that he would know her name. And I feel like it was to take advantage of her, not for sex, for what he wanted, for his priorities.
Does this shed any light to you? Does this zero in on someone that you've been thinking about without mentioning a name?
Certainly.
Yes.
It's just like exactly what we've held with from the beginning, only we have no...
Thank you very much for being here on
welcome.
the show. Now, we're real tight for time, so I'm going to promise you we'll have you back, but you do little things about, you know, not gossip, but you can kind of predict what's going to happen to people, right?
Exactly.
Let's start with Bill and Hillary Clinton. You know, we hear all this stuff going on right now about so-and-so had this affair, so-and-so had that affair. What's going to happen with the first couple?
You haven't seen anything till you hear the scandals that are going to come out. There's a little bit of deflection going on right now. Everybody is preoccupied with Jennifer Flowers. But that's a deflection to take off the heat from Clinton. We're going to hear an awful lot about the possibility of a huge affair going on right now with a celebrity. So his wife's going to cover up. She's going to do a great job. Lots and lots of applause for Hillary and a big breakup in problems with Clinton.
Come on, tell me, give me a name. Can you give me a name?
I can't give you a
Please.
name, but I can give you a letter. A B.
Oh, well, let's just move on now. What about
Okay.
Roseanne and Tom?
Roseanne's spending an awful lot of money. She's very happy. They're creating something again. And come the spring, Tom Arnold's going to feel as if his head is in a straitjacket. First of all, the baby thing, forget about it. This threesome bit, right out the window.
Okay.
Over, no good. But they're creating something, and I don't think the networks like Tom Arnold's creation. So that's going to bring big problems with Roseanne again, and you can expect that out the window by the end of the year.
The relationship out the window?
No, but they're going to have trouble in their marriage, and it is going to survive.
Wow.
It is going to survive.
Now, here's the one I want to know about. How about Mary Jo and Joey Buttafuoco?
Well,
I want to know. Joey's in jail. He's going like this. Mary Jo, please don't leave me. No, go ahead.
Joe is in jail, and you're absolutely right. He's going, please don't leave me, but the money is just rolling in. This poor slob is not poor. Whoever's running his business, I want to know how he's doing it. He's got plenty of money.
Big
and
Joe?
he's
Really?
not starving.
So should
And
I have him on the show?
Mary Jo has her eyeballs on that money because she knows it looks real bad. He is going to try to save the marriage, and I don't think it can be saved. And Mary Jo is going to walk away with the bank book.
Wow. Wow. Well, now look, we got to go to another break, but we also have in the audience Angela and George, right? Stand up for a second, both of you. Good. Now, who talked to, now you stay right where, who did you talk to?
I talked to Angela.
Angela. So what question did you ask?
Well, I asked her about our relationship and where it was going and if I'd be engaged soon.
I told them, yes, they would be engaged soon. They're going to get married. They're not going to get married right after the engagement. It's going to take a year and a half, but they're definitely going to get married and engaged. And I feel they're going to get engaged in the month of January, this month.
Really?
Yes.
This month?
Yes.
Well, wait. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's in here someplace.
Isn't that
Angela?
Woo! Wait, you guys hug. Go on, girl. Look at this thing. Go on. Wait, put it on her hand. Oh, I'm sorry. She's all, put it on her hand. Look at her. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a second. But, geez.
I like the travel industry because it has so many different job opportunities. It's a huge industry.
With the air...